The Sage of Willowbrook. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Willowbrook, there lived a wise old sage named Gregory. Gregory was known far and wide for his profound wisdom, which he had acquired through years of study and contemplation of ancient texts. People from neighboring villages often visited him to seek advice on various matters of life. One day, a young man named Thomas arrived in Willowbrook. Thomas was an ambitious and successful merchant, but he was troubled by a recurring dilemma. Despite his wealth, he felt an emptiness in his heart and a lack of true purpose in his life. He had heard of Gregory's wisdom and decided to seek his counsel. Thomas approached Gregory's humble abode, a small cottage surrounded by a lush garden filled with herbs and flowers. Gregory welcomed him with a warm smile and invited him to sit in the garden. "Tell me, young man, what troubles you?" Gregory asked, his eyes twinkling with kindness. Thomas sighed deeply and said, "I have achieved great success in my business, but I feel something is missing. I have wealth, but no true happiness or sense of purpose. What should I do to find fulfillment in life?" Gregory nodded thoughtfully and replied, "Let me tell you a story. In a faraway land, there was a mighty king named Alexander. He ruled a vast and prosperous kingdom but was always restless and unsatisfied. One day, he heard of a wise sage living in the mountains who possessed the secret to true happiness. Determined to find this sage, King Alexander embarked on a long journey. After many months, he finally found the sage, living a simple life in a small hut. The sage welcomed the king and listened to his concerns. Alexander said, "I have everything a man could desire, yet I am not happy. What is the secret to true happiness?" The sage smiled and led the king to a nearby stream. He handed Alexander a small, empty jar and said, "Fill this jar with water from the stream, but be careful not to let any water spill out." Alexander carefully filled the jar, but despite his best efforts, some water inevitably spilled. The sage took the jar and said, "This jar represents your life, and the water represents your happiness. No matter how much you try to fill your life with wealth and possessions, some of it will always slip away. True happiness comes not from accumulating more, but from appreciating what you have and living a life of purpose and meaning." Gregory looked at Thomas and said, "The key to fulfillment is to find balance and purpose in your life. Wealth alone cannot bring true happiness. Seek ways to help others, to connect with your community, and to live according to your values. When you focus on what truly matters, you will find the fulfillment you seek." Thomas listened intently and realized the wisdom in Gregory's words. He thanked the sage and left Willowbrook with a renewed sense of purpose. Over time, Thomas began to use his wealth to support his community, help those in need, and build meaningful relationships. As he did so, he discovered a deep and lasting happiness that he had never known before. And so, the village of Willowbrook continued to thrive, its people guided by the timeless wisdom of Gregory, the wise sage who showed them the path to true fulfillment.